Hi Stampers, this is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations, and I'm here today with a really fun card. It's one of my top cards on Pinterest. Pinterest gives me analytics that lets me know which pins you guys are looking at and pinning and sending to friends, and my Twist and Pop card was one of them. So we're going to be making this card today. I've updated it. Last time I did it as a Christmas card, even as a Facebook Live, and it's over on YouTube. But this time we're using the sheep dies and stamps, and they're part of the celebration that's going on right now. Okay, so here we are down on my desk. This card's going to start out with a basic card base, but it's going to open portrait with score line on top. So this was 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it 5 1/2. So that's the base. And then for the inside, I went with some basic layers. Last time I worked in eighths. This time I'm not going to. I'm going to work with a 4 inch by 5 1/4, followed by a 3 3/4 by 5. One for the top, one for the bottom, and one for the front of the card. So 3 sets, all the same. For our mechanism, we're going to need 2 pieces. We need one piece that's 10 inch by 2 1/2, and then I scored that at 2 1/2, 5, and 7 1/2. And then we're going to just fold this in. And again, I'm making sure that when I fold it in, that my edges are lined up before I burnish an edge here. So I want this good and square. And then I have this piece, which is 8 inches by 2 1/2. Hopefully you guys are part of the realm of creativity. That's my Facebook group, and that's where I give away prizes and such. So hopefully your members over there. This is the main piece. This is the only piece that'll get confusing, and I'm going to promise you that I'm going to make it easy for you. But everything else is basic. I mean, we're all in 1/4 inches. We're all, you know, squared. There's nothing funny in any of this. Even when we come and decorate, I've just got some scraps of cardstock just to do something with the top. And then I've got 4 pieces that are 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Since this was 2 1/2 each, these are 2 1/4, and these are 2 by 2. So that's what's going to go across the middle. So that's going to be these pieces right here. So I'm going to make this piece in the middle, this right here. And this is what it's going to look like when it's all done. And I'm going to show you how we make that. Okay, I'm going to come in 2 3/4 from an edge. So I'm going to say 2 3/4, 2 3/4. And I'm going to flip it over and do the exact same thing. So now basically we're going to go from that one to this one, and we're going to score right along there. And then we're going to score this way. And I'm just putting the pencil marks for you guys, so hopefully you can see it better on camera. So it's just going to be this X across the middle, and then we're going to score down this way. So since this is 2 1/2, 1 1/4 is going to be our halfway. And then I'm going to use our scoring blade on here. And then I'm going to take and put the 2 3/4 and the 2 3/4 into the track. And then I'm going to score diagonally this way. And then I'm going to flip it and do the same thing this direction. So that's all of our scoring. Now again, I'm making sure I'm even here. And then doing this. So far not too bad, right? Hopefully. So far all we have is a score down the middle, and then the X in the middle here. So that's dead center, is that X right there. You follow me so far? Now, in order to do this, what I need to do is make this go up and this go up. So I'm pinching these two, and it's automatically going to do that for me. And this is an inside mechanism, and so it's going to be hidden. So it's, you know, as long as it works, it doesn't have to be exact, because I'm looking at this right here and that bothers me. It's off by, I don't know, what, a 1/16 of an inch? Something they're totally not going to see at all. It would work just fine. I'm trimming it for my own peace of mind, because that will drive me nuts. But it's all we need is to have it do that. See, this one came out perfect. It has something to do with me being on camera. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so that's the only hard part. And it's basically, we're turning these two sides into a mountain and then bringing them together, and that's going to flatten out our point up here. Okay? You got it? For the inside of the card, like I said, I'm going to take our pieces here. I need our card base. And then I need the tops and the bottoms and my little decorative piece. Really easy. That's just applying layers, and we do that all the time, right? Okay, now I do have another example on my blog where I took these pieces and I made them pointy so that you could put this in first, and then the layer came in and it covered up that little section, but it's so small. And like I said, I try to keep things easy for you guys. So if you want to be able to make the point, I do have directions for that, and we can cover that up, but nobody's going to notice. Okay, this, like I said, was just some scraps. I wanted some decorative something at the top. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, center it. I tend to leave things long and then trim off from the back. I like the fact that from back here there's that definite color differentiation, so I can see where they are, and I'm never short that way. And then on the bottom here, I'm just going to stamp one of our little sheep, and this is from, like I said, that celebration set. So we're working with counting sheep and the sheep dies. Now both of these are in our free book, and they're only available August 3rd through September 30th. And they're one of the options that you can choose for placing a $50 order. So if you place a $50 order, you can order this one, or you can order this one. If you place a $100 order, you can order the two of them, and they're free. Totally free. So you could have an entire bundle to add to your $100 order easily. And then if you wanted to add a 25% discount to that, then you come back here and you join Creative Royalty and you pick one of these bundles to add to for free to $125 worth of stuff that's still only going to cost you $99. So two great deals in order to earn over $50 in free stuff. Of course, there's never any obligation, so don't go panicking thinking we're going to chase you down and make you sell stuff. That's not how we work. Okay, I'm stamping first before I adhere in case there's any boo-boos. And you'll notice I'm only putting adhesive in the four corners. I watch a lot of you in my classes, and you put adhesive all the way around and then down the middle. You really don't need that much, especially with the Stampin' Seal. Your product will last a lot longer if you just do a little bit in the four corners. When we had the snail, there was a tendency that it didn't stick, so I think a lot of people got in the habit of adding too much. But even with the seal, one of the things you can do is you can come from the back side and you can rub, and that just makes sure that there's a good adhesion where that is, and it's not going to come off. So there's the inside of our card, right? Now we're wondering about this pop-up thing, and how am I going to make that easy? So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to find the center. So I want 2 1/8. This is that little ruler that I mentioned that has the 0 in the middle. So This is 6 inches on either side, and then this side is 1 through 12. Comes in very handy. I have a link for my Amazon store. I'm going to put some adhesive on here, and I'm going to use tear and tape because I want it to be good and sturdy. With my Amazon link, I get kind of a little referral fee for enticing you guys to go shop on Amazon. And it doesn't cost you anything extra whatsoever. I just like to point you to where you can find things. And then they thank me for that. Kind of the same thing with Stampin' Storage. If you're looking to get your office organized, I can help there too. Okay, so now this is when we would pick off the ends of this. And I'm only going to do one side. And I'll show you why in a minute. We're going to take that one side that's sticky, and I'm going to center it and point it right down the middle. And I'm lining it up with my point there, okay? Making sure I'm good and stuck just on the one side. Now I can come in and remove this one. Then we close. And this is the best way to make sure that that's even and centered and exactly where we want it. Okay, now we're going to take our middle part. That was this piece right here. And now we're ready to adhere it in the middle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up. Remember, it was the 2.5 inch wide. They're both exact. And then I'm going to find the middle here again. So I want to make sure I'm centered with that one. Okay, now I'm going to put adhesive down here. Putting one side there. And then we're going to open this up. Now, because I did the bottom over here, I want the top over here. And there we go. So that's all there was to it. Does anybody have any questions about how that went? Notice here, it's not adhered here, and it's not adhered there. So when it goes to close, that's what allows it to twist. That's why they call it the twist and pop. Now for the panels, like I said, we're just going to come in with our 2x2s, or these are 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then the 2x2s go over it. But I want to do my stamping first. And I'm planning a retreat here in Idaho next May. We're going to rent a Airbnb home and spend 3 days. We'll go out on Thursday and do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and come home on Sunday. I think it's the second weekend in May. It's after Mother's Day, the following weekend. So now I'm going to come in with basic gray, which I had out. There we go. And I'm just going to do a series of the sheep. There are 3 different ones. And so I'm going to do one of each on our little notes here. And they come without the hat in case you wanted to use them just as an everyday card. But because I'm making this a birthday card, we're going to dress them up and put hats on them. The home that we're going to stay at for the retreat will hold up to 16. I'm trying to gauge interest so I can make the reservation and start taking deposits so we can make sure we have that secure. Okay, because I'm working in blue and yellow, I came in with a Misty Moonlight and a Daffodil Delight. I think it was the light Misty Moonlight and the dark Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to go ahead and color the little hats. And I'm just going all over with the yellow. This just seemed a whole lot simpler to me since the blue is so dark. It'll go right over the top. And this way I don't have to be fussy in coloring. If anyone's interested in attending the retreat, let me know so I can have your name on the list. and give you more information as I get it. We're of course going to be doing crafting while we're there. We'll make lots of cards. I'll have pillow gifts, you know, all that good stuff. And I'm going to bring some of my husband's laser cut items. If you like the tiered tray sets, we'll be painting some of those if you want. I think it's going to be fun. The light black. And I'm going to go on here. Now I'm not going to do all the coloring of the sheep because it kind of takes a while. But I would not color the entire thing anyway. And if you want it to look kind of white, my suggestion is always to go around the edge with the light smoky slate and then come back in with the color lifter and blend it so it's really light. So it's just kind of a shadow. I don't know if you can see on camera, but this is just kind of lightening that gray on the edge. And it's going to make it blend really well. This is light petal pink. So, you know, like I said, this is kind of a quick and dirty idea, but you're getting the idea of how I colored that. Now on the edge, you can do a soft sea foam, a pool party, a balmy blue, just something that's going to accent it on the edge. And then again, we would go over it with this clear and make it really light. And that just gives it kind of an accent. And then because the sheep were facing a certain direction, that's the way I'm going to make them adhere into the card. Okay, so there's our pop-up mechanism. Now all we have to do is decorate the outside. And this is kind of thick because of that in the middle. So it probably takes extra postage if you're going to put it through the mail. Just a word of warning. Okay, so I'm just making the front of the card. And I'm just creating kind of a farm scene, I guess. And so I've got my dirt in the middle. We'll put some sky up here at the top. And I'm getting more, I don't know, markings or whatever than I would if I was taking my time and doing this right. But you get the idea. You swirl on the pad, swirl a little on the paper, and then go onto your card. And it needs a very light touch. When I'm getting these little halos, it's because I'm pressing too hard, and I know that it's because I'm hurrying. The sheep dies come with these little fences, or there's one fence, and then you can connect them. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's these little notch things that will allow you to hook them together if you wish. Oh, and I've already got next week's project ready. We're going to do a one sheet wonder with the 6x6 paper. I was in a Facebook group last week and they were saying how they wished all paper came in a 12x12 because when you're using 6x6s, there's waste. And there doesn't have to be. And so I'm going to show you guys a one sheet wonder where you can use the entire thing and have zero waste. So we'll use one 6x6 paper and get 6 cards, and I'll show you those at the end. Like I said, I'm trying to find my jumping sheep. Okay, so I want to make him look like he's jumping over the fence. And if you wanted to, you could die cut these as well. I probably should have, and maybe I will cut another one and put it over the top with dimensionals, because then I can keep my sheep totally white because I didn't mask him this time. If I had stamped him first and then put a mask over it that covered just the sheep, then it would have been fine and it would have stayed white, but I didn't, so I'm going to add a second sheep to it. And that's a good way to do things sometimes, is to have a little bit of pop with the dimensional, but having this underneath creates kind of a shadow, and it also helps with placement. Okay, now I did that kind of on purpose. I don't know if you saw that. I took and grabbed a glue dot and I kind of rolled it a little, and then I put it in here and I continued to roll as I pulled out. And what that did was it left half of the glue dot in there and half of it out because it was wider than my little fence post. I wanted it to stick, but I didn't want to see any leftover glue dot afterwards. So I'll finish up this card later and get it onto my blog and transfer this to YouTube. I'll edit it up. When I edit it, I take out the chit chat and I speed up any stamping or anything that seems to take too long, because I find that my YouTube audience kind of wants to get there and get it over with, whereas you guys like to come and chat with me, which I like. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to do a white one and I'll pop dot that over the top. But there's our card. So who's going to give it a try? Thank you for joining me. Again, my name is Lisa. I'm with Queen Bee Creations. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I do appreciate it when you come to my classes on Monday afternoons where I teach you guys a class for free. I also post to my blog, YouTube, Pinterest, all of those sorts of things, and have classes in my home as well as classes in the mail. So if you guys are interested in taking a class from me but you're not local, let me know. I have classes in the mail as well, and even some PDF tutorials for sale. So I can help you in lots of different ways. Just let me know how. Thanks for joining me. Bye.